What if your lack of willpower isn't the problem, but your reliance on it is? Think about the last time you watched a video about productivity. Maybe you took notes. Maybe you felt something shift inside you, a quiet certainty that this time would be different. And then nothing changed. You closed the tab. You waited. You told yourself you'd start when you felt ready, when the moment felt right, when the conditions lined up perfectly. And somewhere in that waiting, the feeling died. And you went back to scrolling. This is not a motivation problem. This is a design problem. You have been building your entire work ethic on a foundation that collapses under pressure and then blaming yourself when it does. Here's what no one wants to say plainly. Motivation is not a resource. It's a weather pattern. It shows up without warning. It feels extraordinary when it does, and it leaves without asking permission. You have spent years chasing it like it's something you can catch and hold. You can't. And the pursuit itself is what's keeping you stuck. Discipline doesn't exist when motivation is high. It only exists when motivation is dead. Here is what's actually happening inside you. When you feel inspired, late at night, after a powerful video, after a conversation that lit something up, your brain floods with dopamine. That dopamine makes the future feel vivid and close. You can see yourself waking up early, doing the work, building something real. The feeling is almost physical. So you make plans. You write lists. You set alarms. You go to sleep certain. And then morning comes. The dopamine is gone. The vision is still there, but it's distant now, flat, and unimpressive. Your body doesn't want to move. And instead of recognizing that as completely normal, you interpret it as a sign. A sign that you're not ready, that you need more preparation, that today isn't the day. This is the trap. You have unconsciously trained yourself to confuse the feeling of inspiration with the presence of readiness. They are not the same thing. One is a chemical spike. The other is a decision. What makes this worse is that the cycle is self-reinforcing. You feel inspired, you crash, you feel guilty. You search for more inspiration to override the guilt. You get another spike, you crash again. You are not building momentum. You are feeding an addiction. The content you consume about self-improvement has become a substitute for self-improvement itself. The inspiration is the procrastination. So, what actually works? The answer is less interesting than you want it to be, and that's precisely why it works. Willpower is not a character trait. It is a finite daily resource, and it depletes with every decision you make, significant or trivial. What you eat for breakfast, whether to check your phone, what to wear, when to start. Every micro choice costs something. By the time you sit down to do the work that actually matters, you have already spent half of what you had. This is not weakness. This is biology. Successful people are not stronger than you. They have simply built structures that demand less from them. They have removed the moment of choice from the equation entirely. They don't decide whether to work out. The shoes are already out. The time is already blocked. The path is already clear. The decision was made once, in advance, in a calm state. And then it became automatic. Stop trying to become stronger. Start making the path easier. This is what discipline actually is. Not grinding through discomfort on sheer force of will. Not waking up every day and convincing yourself. It is the quiet, patient engineering of an environment where the right action has less resistance than the wrong one. Consider what your environment is currently designed for. Your phone is within reach, notifications are on. Your workspace and your leisure space are the same room. There are no fixed starting times, only vague intentions. When temptation appears, you are relying entirely on willpower to resist it, the same willpower that is already depleted, the same resource that is unreliable by nature. Now consider the alternative. The phone is in another room before you begin. The browser is closed. The work is already open on the screen from the night before. The time block is fixed and non-negotiable, not because you feel like working, but because the structure does not consult your feelings. You have automated the entry point. The start is no longer a decision. It is simply what happens at that time. This sounds small. It is not small. Every micro-hurdle you remove is one less opportunity for your brain to negotiate its way out. Mental energy is not infinite. Systems preserve it. And when you preserve it, you protect the work that actually matters. Here is the part that most people resist, because it is deeply unglamorous. Real discipline is boring. It does not look like intensity. It does not feel like momentum. It is the same action, repeated on the same schedule, regardless of how you feel that day. There's no peak. There's no dramatic turning point. There's only the quiet accumulation of small efforts across time. Motivation screams. Discipline whispers. Intensity is dramatic. Consistency is invisible. And systems don't care how you feel. 40% effort every single day will always outperform 100% effort once a week. The person who works quietly and without interruption for 30 minutes daily will eventually leave the person chasing inspiration in their dust. Not because they are more talented, because they stopped waiting. Here is where you actually are. You are someone who knows what they need to do, and you are waiting to feel like doing it. That wait has no end. The feeling you are waiting for is not coming, and even if it does, it will leave again. It always leaves. So here is the only question worth asking today. What is one decision you can make right now, in advance, that removes the choice tomorrow morning? One boundary, one fixed block, one piece of friction eliminated. Not a system overhaul, not a new identity. Just one structural change that makes the right action slightly more inevitable than it was yesterday. Stop asking how to feel motivated. Start asking how to make action unavoidable. That is the only discipline that lasts.